Let's start. For us, we start with chapter number 3.1. 3.1, pretty simple, very, very easy area, very basic, something that can easily be completed in a quick flow. Let's start. Now, in this, what do we start? What are the 5 components of controls? Once again, third time we are doing today. Control environment, control activities, risk assessment, information and communication system. And of course, you have monitoring, checking the entire set of the other 4 components. Okay, let's start with the first one, that is control environment. 2 areas are there. Questions can come from these 2 areas only in control environment. First is what is control environment. Second is elements of control environment. Let's do it. Let's look at the screen first. What is control environment? So you see here Mukesh Ambani ji diagram, a famous diagram here. Let's start. The TCWG, the TCWG and the management, they with their attitude awareness action, they set the tone of the organization. They set the tone of the organization. That is the meaning you will write if they ask in the examination. Okay. Second, most important area, what are the elements of control environment? Let's start. Let's see this. First, TCWG is point number 1. In this, we see TCWG has to rise. Rise is what? They'll raise difficult questions on the management. They will should be involved as much as possible. Independence of TCWG from the management is very, very important. Their stature and experience should be there. Stature means reputation. If that is there, then people will listen to them very clearly. Ratan Tata ji, Mukesh Ambani ji come as shining examples in this matter. Okay, let's go further. Second is you have management operating style. In that you have something called as BAF. In that first you have business risk. A is accounting and processing, and F is financial reporting. So the management operating style should cover BAF, business risk, accounting and processing, financial reporting. These 3 areas should be covered. Third, the TCLOG and the management should work with integrity and ethical values. So we have I and E, integrity and ethical values. They should have a team of people and they should themselves be competent. Competence should be there. In the organization, they should have a proper system of authority and responsibility, because any misbalance, if it is there, in that case, it can disturb the organization's working style. Next, human resource policies and procedures. We'll see what kind of HR policies are there. Of course, everybody wants a employee-friendly HR policy to be there. Okay. Last but not the least, we need the organization structure should be properly planned, executed, controlled, and reviewed. You must have written there PECR there, planned, executed, controlled, and reviewed. It should be there in place. Okay. This is what we see. This completes your elements of control environment. Again, I'll take you to the base answer. We just completed what is control environment, elements of control environment. Let's go to the next area. Auditor should obtain an understanding of risk assessment procedures for the following purposes. Or if you are doing the audit of a business, what are the businessman's risk? This is not auditor's own risk assessment procedures. This is the businessman's risk for running the business. You're trying to understand that. This area 3.1 internal control components is from businessman's angle. What kind of business are they running? You're thinking from that angle. So the businessman's risk, what risk is he taking? How will he understand the risk? How will the businessman understand the risk? That is what you're seeing here. If you are running a business, how will you understand your business risk? Let's go for it one by one. Look at the screen, please. Let's start. Please here. We'll identify the business risk. That is the first point. What all risks are there? All the risks will categorize into likelihood, how often it can occur, and we'll look at the significance. How big is the risk? How much damage it can do? So we'll look at the significance and the likelihood. Once we have categorized the risk properly, now we'll come up with our own actions to address the risk. So there's actions to address the risk. How do you plan to address it? We'll come up with our risk assessment procedures, how to deal with it. And any procedure that you make, it can be your study procedure, risk assessment procedure, any procedure, you will only come to know whether it is proper or not only after implementing it. You implement it, doesn't work properly, again you will improve. Implement it, doesn't work properly, again you will improve. So you will come to know whether it is appropriate or not, only after implementing it. Are you there with me, yes or no? That completes your risk assessment. Easy. So where are we? Again in the main chart, we have just completed this area. So this is done, and the third one is done. We enter the next area. Very simple. Information and communication system. In that, what do we check? Very simple. We check how will you understand the information system in the organization. That is basically this here, information system. And what kind of communication is there? For that, we check this chart. We check this part here. Okay. So let's go to the main chart so you know the way it is presented. Let's understand information system here. Let's start. Please here. We'll check regarding transactions, journal entries, ledger. Very simple. You take admission in the classes. So in that case, you get a receipt. That is a transaction. The accounting person will do the journal entry. You will try to understand that. After that, there will be ledger posting. In the ledger, what will happen? These four things will happen. How the transaction is initiated, recorded, processed, corrected. Tell me, initiated, recorded, processed, corrected. Initiate means ledger posting is done, recorded at the right value. After all the ledger postings are done, when you do the totaling, that is when you find the balance of the ledger, that is called processing the ledger. And finally, when you pass the reverse entries, it is called as correcting the ledger. Initiating, recording, processing, correcting. Understand the meaning of every word. Next, you will check the accounting records. What are accounting records? Very simple. Fixed asset register, investment register, cash book also, all these, inventory register, all these will come under this category. Then you will have information system that captures the events, that is what kind of accounting software is the organization using. And finally, the financial reporting part. How is the financial reporting done? You are basically checking how the accounting is flowing from transaction to financial reporting, transaction to financial reporting. So that flow is basically what we call it as understanding. See this, understanding the information system, understanding the information system. In the exam also, in the question, they will tell you this, see, understanding of the information system. That is basically what we are doing here. Simple to understand this area. Next. How will you check the communication? For communication, they are given few areas. Let's do here. Let's see this. Let's start, please here. Look at the screen. And communication part is covered here. Read me. Auditor shall obtain understanding of information system and then how entity communicates the roles and responsibilities. How will I come to know whether information system is working smoothly in the organization? I will see whether each person knows their role clearly or not, whether they are able to do their role. In that case, how will the senior communicate the role to the junior? By giving something called as memo. Memo is the code. So you'll see there manuals, email, management actions, or orally. They'll give a manual, procedural guidelines, step by step procedures they can give. They will send by email, please do this work. They will do the action themselves and show, see, this is how it is done. And finally, they will maybe say verbally or orally how it is to be done. Okay, that is what we cover in this part. Easy, simple area, super simple. That completes your understanding of information and understanding of communication. Easy. Then go to the next part. Again, very, very easy area. Let's start with this. I'll just show you the slide here. This is basically the control activities. So regarding control activities, what all should the auditor check? So in that, control activities are what? Sir, the day-to-day control which are there in the organization are basically part of control activities. This is at the managerial level which happens. Okay, so let's see this. Managerial level means the departmental managerial level, not the top management. So let's start. First, we have a code here called, you can use a code called spin or you can use a code called Spain. Both are okay. I must have given any one of the codes to you. Pain only we have given. Okay. So same thing. Let's go for it. First is segregation of duties. So process divided into various persons. SOD, segregation of duties. Second point is with P, we did physical controls. I don't know whether you remember the dog example. I had gone to Nagaland. There, a dog ran behind me. Not behind me means a German Shepherd was there. So now you remember. Audit, you don't remember. Dog example, all this nonsense. Everything is clear. Next is, let's go ahead. Next is performance reviews. What are performance reviews? Whether right people are promoted in the organization based on merit. That is what we're checking here. Next, you will have authorization, whether proper permission has been taken or not before doing any activity. And last is you will have something called as information processing, whether the IT systems are running properly or not. So you check something called as SPIN. Easy. These are the examples of specific control activities include those relating to the following, and that is the Spain code. Okay. Remember in the exam, specific control activities, examples, and you have to write these 5 points. That's it. So mark it as star because this you can forget. There is a tendency to forget this. Okay. Specific control activities. What are the examples? We have just completed this area. Okay. Now let's do the other few bits. So to understand this area, we do the next part of control activities. Look at that point which is written. Auditor shall obtain understanding of the following. First, control activities to assess the risk of material misstatement. A certain assertion of TAD, which auditor finds relevant. So only things which he finds relevant, auditor will check. Policies and procedures which are set by the management, he will check. And finally, activities of IT or manual system, the auditor will check. Okay. Sir, where is this part covered in our notes? Where is this part covered? This part is basically covered just above this area. So this is your D1, the Spain code, and this is your D2 basically, which is where this all parts are covered. This is what we did. Last one, last area, very simple. I show you here only monitoring of controls. So what is monitoring? Monitoring is nothing but a process to assess the effectiveness of anything. Process to assess the effectiveness of everything. Example, you guys are in your study leave right now. How do you come to know whether you're doing going as per the your timetable or not or schedule or not? You will monitor it regularly. How much is the backlog? How much have I covered? How much I have to carry forward for the next week? You'll keep doing that. So you understand here what are you doing? You're doing you have a process to assess the effectiveness of your studies. So in the similar manner, what is monitoring of controls? It is nothing but see this process to assess the effectiveness of internal controls. Internal controls. Easy to understand this area. Monitoring can happen in two ways. First of all, for monitoring, I need information. Information can come from within me where I feel something has to be improved. I feel that. When will I feel that? When while doing the work I feel or after doing the work I feel. While doing the work is called ongoing activities. After doing the work is called separate evaluation, or it can be a combination of the two, or it can be a combination of the two. Second, someone from outside tells me, oh, this is not the way to be done. It should be done. You're doing in the wrong manner. Example, as a student, a teacher tells you, or your parents tell you, see, you're not studying sincerely. That means somebody is complaining that you're not doing the work properly. That is basically, remember the two things. That is communication from external parties or customer complaints are coming or regulators comments are there. So with this, you come to know that you need to improve. Whether you realize the mistake internally or you come to know from outside parties, in both the cases, you have to take remedial action on timely basis. Remedial action on timely basis. That is this remedial action on a timely basis. Timely basis. You have to do. Easy to understand this area. Comfortable. Where is this in our chart, sir? Sir, this is covered here. So this is covered here. Monitoring is done. That is what we covered. This completes your chapter number 3.1. So you have completed two things, 3 and 3.1. Comfortable?